You're watching Outdoors Delmarva, presented by Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
We continue our tour of Horn Point Oyster Hatchery in Cambridge as we take a closer look at the science behind oyster production.
But don't worry, there isn't a test after this class.
So in January, when we start the water up for the hatchery, the water is obviously very cold in the bay. But when we bring them in here, we have systems where I can warm up the water and make it springtime ahead of springtime. And if all goes well, we can start spawning in March. On the flip side, right now, the bay is warm. Oysters are spawning. But we've chilled this water and kept it at colder springtime temperatures, and that allows us to maintain them longer into the year. So again, if all goes well, we'll be spawning through September. And then when we're done, we'll shut down the system. We lose water usually November 1, shut the hatchery down, fix everything we break, and then we start right back up in January again. We are a flow-through hatchery, which means water comes in. We're utilizing what's naturally growing in the Top Tank River, and then water goes out. So we are not feeding them, but Mother Nature is. And we're just tempering it, either hot water or cold water, to maintain our temperatures. They're eating everything that's in there, and that's what they're using as fuel to make the babies. We do grow algae, but we're using that to feed the babies. The adults, they're okay. They're on their own. We focus our food efforts on feeding the larvae we produce. It's a very involved, complex process, and it's not just one entity. For the restoration, we are a big group of 5 different partners involved in this. So it's University of Maryland, Oyster Recovery Partnership, Maryland Department of Natural Resources, NOAA, and Army Corps of Engineers. And all 5 of us are working cooperatively together to get the restoration project overboard in the right spots, on the right bottom, and monitoring them so that they have the most impact. This is the MLT room, otherwise known as mass larvae tank room. And all of the PVC you see is either fill lines or feeding lines. So we have an automated feeding system where it pumps the algae from our greenhouse into the larvae tanks. So larvae swim for the first 2 weeks of their life. Everybody thinks oysters can't move, but that's not true. They do swim for the first 2 to 3 weeks of their life, and then they attach or strike to something, then they can't move. So we just need to grow them up to that point where they're ready to attach, and then we can get them wherever we need to put them. So right there we have a bundle of 4.5 million. So
4.5 million?
4.5 million right there. So what we do is we put them in a coffee filter. We wrap it in a damp paper towel. And as long as they stay damp and cold, they can survive in a refrigerator for up to 5 days. They have 2 shells, they close up. They chill out, literally. And that's what they look like. They look like little coffee grains, kind of, or sand. And they're in this nice, deep, dark brown color. These are mature, heavy veliger oyster larvae that are ready to attach to a substrate. I do not want them attaching in my big swimming tanks, swimming only. These I want to take down to the pier and attach them to shell so we can create the spat on shell for the restoration.
We still have much more to show you from Horn Point Oyster Hatchery.
But up next, we learn a thing or two about the wonders of the Chesapeake that made oyster harvesting such a cultural phenomenon here on Delmarva through the eyes of Scorchy Taws.
Outdoors Delmarva, we'll be right back.